March is a huge month for LEGO buyers. We've got retiring sets that you're going to need to buy before they're gone for good. There's massive discounts on some huge sets. Plus, we got over 40 new sets releasing, including some really, really cool LEGO sets. So with all that going on, as you can imagine, it can be quite hard working out which ones are the best ones for you to buy right now. That's where this video and this new series comes in. Once a month, I'm going to release a video just like this one, where I summarize what I think are the best LEGO sets for you to buy right now, based on how soon they're going to retire, how much they're currently costing, and occasionally how awesome they are. And at the end of the video, I've got my number one pick for the best LEGO set to buy right now. And it's probably not one you'd expect, unless you know me really, really well. But let's get straight into it with the sets that are nearing retirement that you need to be aware of. And retiring LEGO sets is something we talk about a lot in these videos, and we do occasionally get questions of people just asking me to clarify exactly what that means. So very briefly, a retiring LEGO set is one that is going to be going out of production. So LEGO every month are releasing new sets. They can't just infinitely increase the size of their product line. It wouldn't all fit in the store. So a couple of times a year, they retire a bunch of sets. It usually happens in July and December, and it literally just means they stop producing them. And once the stock is gone, it's gone. And then from then on, the only way to pick those sets up is via the secondary market. And there are some big, awesome sets that are retiring by the end of this year. And that by the end of this year bit is crucial, because although they are slated to retire by December 2025, that doesn't mean you'll necessarily be able to buy these right up until the last day of December. If they run out of stock in November, they're not going to make a bunch more then, because they're on the way to retiring. And I got caught out with a couple of sets like this towards the back end of last year, where I'd been holding off on buying a couple more copies of the Creative 3-in-1 Castle set, and it never went back on sale, and it's now double the price that it was this time last year. So if these sets are sets you've got on your wish list that you've had your eye on, now is the time to move. Either right now, if you're particularly twitchy, or if you can hold your nerve for the next double points day, you need to be starting to put some money aside to probably be picking these up as a matter of urgency, because some of these are pretty expensive sets. And I guess the headline ones are the two modular buildings that are going to be retiring this year. Each year, LEGO releases a new modular. We had Tudor Corner come out in January. There'll be a new one coming out next January. But by the end of this year, two of the current range of modulars are retiring. And if you've watched my recent video about me trying to hunt down the remaining 8 modulars of the 20 that have so far been released that I don't already own, you'll have seen just how expensive these modulars can get fairly quickly after they retire. So if you've got any interest at all in the modular buildings or building a LEGO city, you need to be having the Jazz Club and the Boutique Hotel on your radar over the coming months. I'm not necessarily saying buy right now, because they are currently full price at LEGO. There's not any super good deals for these, and we do occasionally see them drop down to £150 on John Lewis. It happened a couple of times around Black Friday before Christmas. So maybe if we get some spring summer sales, we might see these drop in price. Or like I say, if you get a double points day at some point over the next few months, these should be very high up the priority list. What I wouldn't do is leave them hanging on until the end of the year, expecting to be able to get them on a sale at the end of the year. They're probably not going to go super cheap. And I would certainly say if we see either of these sets hit £150 again, buy them immediately, because that might just be your last chance to get them at that kind of price before they retire and start to get expensive. We also have a modular adjacent set in the shape of the Daily Bugle, which is behind me. It's behind my chair. I can't move enough to show you it, but it's the big grey Marvel building, the Spider-Man themed one. It's great. It's enormous. And it's absolutely packed full of Spider-Man and Marvel minifigs, and is a great build. Looks fantastic alongside the other Marvel modulars, the Avengers Tower, the Sanctum Sanctorum, the X-Mansion, which is questionable whether you'd include that in the category of a modular, because it's not quite minifig scale. But the Daily Bugle is a great set. It's one of those, again, that occasionally you'll find it on a little bit of a deal, but it should certainly be on your radar if you're into the superheroes, if you're planning on doing anything superhero themed, Lego City themed. You're probably going to want to pick this up. This year is your last chance. So if you see it for a deal, grab it, get it on your wish list, track it. It's great, and I certainly wouldn't want to miss out on it. We've then got some proof that I do practice what I preach as well, because my next one is the Lion Knight's Castle. It's the most expensive one, I think, of the ones that I've listed here, but it is incredible. I picked it up on the last double points day last month, and I'm so glad I did. It was my #1 target for this year. I love the castles. I already mentioned I missed out on the Creative 3-in-1 castle at the end of last year. I didn't want to miss out on this one, and seeing how popular castles are with particularly adult fans of Lego, seeing that the Creative 3-in-1 set doubled in price almost immediately, seeing the prices on the Bricklink Designer Program castle sets when you see them at conventions, it's fairly easy to assume that the moment the Lion Knight's Castle expires, it's very quickly going to increase in price. And even if you're looking at it as soon as this sort of time next year, I would expect it to be starting to ramp up in price. This is one that is very quickly going to become very difficult to get hold of. Wouldn't at all surprise me to see it sell out before the end of the year. My understanding is it's already on quite a long back order in the US. I think you can still get it immediately in the UK. It's still on shelves in our Lego stores. I got mine within a couple of days when I ordered it online. It is an expensive one, and it very, very rarely goes on any kind of discount. So you're probably going to want to wait for a double points day, but I would very much make my move on the next one and wouldn't be very comfortable leaving this into the second half of the year for fear of it going on back order here, or potentially just disappearing altogether and being one of those sets that you just can't get hold of. And then lastly, sticking with the castle theme, albeit a very different kind of castle, the Disney Castle retires this year as well. Obviously, we have got a new Disney Castle releasing in April, the Beauty and the Beast Castle, slightly smaller than the big Cinderella one that we have in the backdrop for all of our streams. We bought it last year. Anna built it last year. She absolutely loves it. It is a great set. And as we've seen with its predecessor, the price does increase fairly quickly upon retirement. Obviously, we all know what Disney adults are like, and I'm allowed to say that because I very much am one. And without a big Disney castle currently slated to replace it, there could potentially be a period where the only castle that's available is that slightly smaller Beauty and the Beast one, and anyone who wants a big Disney castle is going to have to go for this as a retired set, which is going to force the prices up. I've certainly seen just how expensive the Disneyland train and station is. It's one that I would love to have, but because it's Disney and it retired and it wasn't replaced, it's now double the price it was when it was available. And I could see a similar thing happening with this Disney Castle, especially if they don't stick another one straight out this time like they did when they retired the predecessor. And I could go on and on with the retired sets. I've tried to limit it to the big five, but there's a few honourable mentions as well that if these are on your wish list, just be aware that they're retiring if you're not already. The Medieval Town Square goes this year. The incredible Batman animated series Gotham City Skyline, which was my favourite set of last year, that goes this year as well. The Mighty Bowser is disappearing, as is Ninjago City Markets, which is definitely one I'm going to look to pick up. I got Ninjago City Gardens towards the tail end of last year. We're going to have Ninjago in the new Lego City, so I'm going to have to pick up City Markets this year. And Diagon Alley as well. I mean, it's a big set. It's like a £400 set, but now I've got all this Lego City space to play with. I might finally be able to fit that one in, so it's definitely one that's starting to appear on my radar just as it's nearing retirement. So lots to be thinking about with retired sets, but most of them are still full price, and it's more be aware of them, and if you see them cheap, move. This next category, these are the ones that are on sale right now, and you might want to nab yourself a bargain. These are the best Lego deals I can find currently. And we kick things off with a couple of big high ticket item sets that are both on sale currently on Amazon. You can pick up the big Hogwarts castle on there on a 20% discount. That brings it down to $329.99 from $409.99, so a big saving on that one. An even bigger cash saving, though, on the UCS Millennium Falcon. You can save over £100 on that one at the moment on Amazon. It's an 18% discount. That brings it down to just over £600 from its normal £735 RRP. So if you're a Trekkie, now might be a good time to make your move on that one. We all saw the AT-AT just disappear when that neared retirement towards the end of last year. As far as I can tell, that Millennium Falcon's not slated to retire this year, but I don't know how many more times you're going to see it with over £100 off. And then we've got a discount on a newer set, one that I'm kicking myself about a little bit because we picked this up at full price just a couple of weeks ago, but the micro scale Diagon Alley that came out on the 1st of January is already on sale at Very, where it's got £30 off, bringing it down to $139.99, and is one of quite a few sets across Very and Smiths that released as recently as the 1st of January that are starting to see some discounts. So we are starting to see some prices drop on those sets that came out at the start of the year. So if there's some of those that you were holding off on, now might be the time for you to have a little look around, particularly Very. Asda have got some good deals, Smiths have got some good deals, and just have a look to see who's starting to discount the sets that you've been holding fire on. I mentioned him before in my honourable mentions for the retiring sets, but that Mighty Bowser set is now on sale at John Lewis as well. We've seen quite a lot of deals for Mario stuff over the last week or so with all the Mario Day celebrations going on. But this one is currently 20% off on John Lewis, which brings it down to £183 from its normal £229. And for a set that's retiring this year, you might never see it at that kind of price again. So it's a really, really cool set. If you've been waiting to make the move and you inexplicably didn't get it when it was double points on Lego last week, John Lewis at £183, I think it might be your time. And then there's too many to mention in the Zavvi March Mayhem sale. It's very much worth having a look through this yourself. There's some really good deals to be found on there. A couple of highlights that I found to pick out. The Fortnite Battle Bus, which was selling for over £200 on the resale market before Christmas when it was still a Lego store exclusive and really hard to get hold of. We've seen it discounted in Costco a little bit recently, but it's now found a big discount in a major retailer. That's down to $69.99 from $89.99 at Zavvi. But also on the Zavvi discounts, the Back to the Future Time Machine is down to $134.99 from $169.99. That's one we still don't have and would very much like to get. So I'm tempted, if I hadn't spent so much money on wood and modulars lately, that one would be very much one to keep an eye on, and one that people ask me about loads around Christmas. The Home Alone house, you very rarely see deals on this. It is retiring this year. It doesn't go on sale in the lead up to Christmas because that's when people want it. $219.99 down from $259.99. It's probably the best deal you're likely to get on this now before it retires. So if you were waiting for that Home Alone set to use it as your advent calendar next year, it's on sale on Zavvi now. Now is your time. I mentioned before about missing out on the Creative 3-in-1 Castle last year that I wanted for Rebrickables. Another set I want to pick up some more for Rebrickables is the Creative 3-in-1 Modern House that came out last year. That's also in the Zavvi sale, down to $71.99 from $89.99. And I am very tempted to pick up a couple of those for a Rebrickable that I've got in mind for the new Lego City. And then also, if you're into the architecture stuff, Notre Dame has got 25% off on Zavvi, down to $150 from $200. I think that's the cheapest I've ever seen that set, and that is a great set. We built that on stream last year, and it looks awesome on display in our living room. But like I say, there's loads more on Zavvi. You've got to look through it all. It is a big sale going on there at the moment, and well worth a look. And then, of course, it's not just about the retiring stuff and the stuff that's on sale. We've had like 200 new Lego sets release in 2025 already, and there's been some really cool ones, and it can be pretty hard to filter through them and work out which the best ones are. So these are my picks for the best new sets that you might have missed out on over the last month or so. This first one I built on stream last week, The Evolution of STEM. It is an awesome set. It's so much fun to build. It's absolutely packed full with hidden Easter eggs and nerdy little technology and mathematics and computer sciencey bits. I absolutely loved it as a former computer science teacher. It's on display behind me there in my office, and it's awesome, and it will stay behind me on display in my office because I think it's a great set. It's good value as well, not super expensive like a lot of the other sets on this list. And if it passed you by on March the 1st because there was so much other stuff going on, it's worth looping back round for another look, because if you're into STEM at all, it's cool. It's really cool. One you probably couldn't avoid going into the Lego store over the last couple of weeks, but is worth a mention anyway. Anna's building it on stream in our current stream series, the Vincent van Gogh Sunflowers art set. Dare I say, Batman aside, the best art set they've done. She's not even finished it, and it looks brilliant. It's going to look incredible on our living room wall. It's expensive, so I can certainly understand choosing to hold fire and waiting for double points or a discount or even a good gift with purchase. But if you're after an art set, I don't think there's a better one to buy right now than the Sunflowers one that came out just a couple of weeks ago. And then if you're just looking for something at the opposite end of the price scale, something nice and cheap to pick up, I think two of the best BrickHeadz they've ever made are ones that have come out in the last month or so. Eeyore and Dumbo, they are both brilliant. I love the way they're both sitting down. It's a different pose for the BrickHeadz, and I think they're incredible. I absolutely love them. They're only a tenner each because they're BrickHeadz. If you've got a gift for anyone who's into Disney coming up, or if you just want a little Disney gift for yourself, cheer yourself up for not being able to get that castle I've been trying to persuade you to buy, the BrickHeadz are great. I love them. You can see you're just there, sat behind me, pride of place, in shot. The T-Rex deserves a mention. I have seen it. It is enormous. It looks great. Anna has got it, and I don't know where she's going to put it when it's built, but it's great. And I guess if you are into naked dinosaur skeletons, fill your boots. And then last, but by no means least, I promised you my pick for the best Lego set to buy right now. And it is this guy, HeiHei, the chicken from Moana. And it is my favourite Lego set of the year so far. It is so cool. It is so stupid looking and brilliant and poseable and fun. And bearing in mind, this is a year that Tudor Corner has come out in. And I'm still telling you, this is the best Lego set that has released this year. He is awesome. You have to buy this set. If you buy nothing else from this video, buy this guy. And on the topic of buying that guy or buying anything else on this list, if you decide to avoid Zavvi's March Mayhem and some of the other deals at the likes of Amazon and Very that I've pointed out in this video, and decide to buy something from the Lego store now or at any point over the coming weeks and months, I'd really appreciate it if you did that via our affiliate link, blockpartyuk.shop. It pays us a small commission on whatever you spend, but doesn't cost you any more to do. It's just an easy and free way to support the channel. I would say don't spend more than you need to spend elsewhere just to help. We'll survive if you don't use the link, but if you're buying from Lego anyway, we'd really appreciate you using the link as a thanks for giving you the heads up for the cool sets that you can go and buy. I think that's a nice little arrangement. But let me know down in the comments if you think I've missed anything out, or if you disagree with any of my picks. What do you think is the best Lego set to buy right now? And what is your big high ticket item set that you've got an eye on to pick up if you see it in a sale or before it retires at the end of the year? And let me know what you think of this as a series. I mean, it's the first part of what I think I'm planning to do this as like a recurring monthly thing. Best Lego sets to buy right now. I think there are three good categories to look at: the retiring stuff, the deals, and the best new sets. Just like a little bit of a monthly state of Lego shopping video. The series will continue to evolve and take shape based on your feedback in the comments. So feedback is very, very welcome. But for now, if you've enjoyed the video, please leave a nice big thumbs up on it for us. Subscribe to the channel for loads more Lego content. And thank you very much for watching.